What's going on? We back in the studio. It's another day, another dollar. I'm KJ Ford. Hey, and we got a good weekend to recap. It's a nice Monday, man. We're feeling pretty good after the big upset that my Razorbacks pulled off on Saturday against Missouri. I got my guy Jordan in the studio. We're going to talk about some NBA basketball. We're going to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about what took place in the college basketball world this weekend and what's to come this week. So tune in, sit back. We're going to have a nice day just kicking it right here in the studio. Yo, Jordan, we got to get right into it, man. This is a top-tier Monday for me. Now, my Arkansas squad, we talked last week. Things weren't looking great. We were supposed to sneak a game against Auburn, the best team in the country. We did not do that. We blew the game late in the final minutes, played really well. But Saturday was a completely different story. The boys was ready to go. Coach Cal said he had the vets. He had the old championship team. Had them come talk to the guys before the game, talk to them during the shoot-around. And the boys was ready to go. We played against Missouri, who was looking real good this year. What I tell you on Tuesday, it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, I said, yo, I ain't going to lie. I think Missouri had just beaten Florida or something like that. And I was like, yo, yeah, I think we're cooked. I think my team is cooked. Not Florida, Alabama. Missouri had just taken care of Alabama. Okay. And after that game, I was really worried because the Razorbacks, we needed to steal one. That was a big game against them. So knowing that we had Missouri, I was like, yo, season might be over. You know, it might be done for. But then the homies just, 92-85, dominated the whole game pretty much. Well, I take that back. I'm a little too joyful right now. Dominated in the second half. Dominated in the second half. Okay. Now I say the reason I say we dominated in the first half is because it was like a 6-point game going into halftime, and we had only made 2 or 3 3-pointers. So you know what I mean. We were playing really bad, and down by 2 possessions. So to me, hey, we were in the locker room, and I watched Coach Cal's press conference. And to me, I'm like, yo, when we get in the locker room, the message should be that if we knock down some shots, if we get a few key stops, we're good. Well, it's a 2-possession game, and we're playing terrible. And apparently that's what Coach Cal said. He went into the locker room. He told his team, we haven't been knocking down threes. Obviously made a few adjustments. Came back out, shot the ball pretty well. Shout out to Big Z. Yeah. Shout out to John L. Davis. Wagner's hooping. Adu got hurt. We saw his back kind of tweak out. So that'll be big to know what's going on in the future, especially in these last 4 games of the season, because we're going to need there for sure. So that's a big-time win for us. That got us our 4th quad 1 win. You got to let us in the tournament. NCAA, you got to put us in the tournament. I don't care. 4 quad 1 wins. Michigan, Kentucky, Texas, Missouri. Come on, man. This Coach Cal, we know that if the committee can find a way to put Coach Cal in the tournament, they surely will. And I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm here for it. Woo pig. We back in this thing, baby.
You know, it's always lovely when I see you smiling and, being happy about all this stuff. You know, it's because I can remember the last time we had this conversation when Missouri played against Alabama. You were like, oh my God, it's over for Arkansas.
Man, I mean, we had lost 2 straight, and then we were about to play one of the best teams in the country. I'm like, yo,
I feel you, man. I feel you.
But I mean, I think this just locked us into March.
But a big shout out to Big Z, man. Dropping 20, and then Janelle Davis. I mean, to be honest with you, the first time you talked about Janelle Davis on this show, you were really pissed. Remember, you were so pissed. You were like, "Come on, man, you got to play like we're paying you $1 million." I'm like,
$1 million on the dot.
$1 million,
gave
man.
him $1 million on the dot, man.
It's good to see him, turning up, pushing it and making it happen. It's really great. To be honest with you, I wasn't expecting Arkansas to win this game. I'm not gonna lie.
But we played really good defense in this game.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
we held some of the top players to a few points, man. Mark Mitchell, he shot 5 for 10, Tony Perkins shot 5 for 11, and those were their best scorers on the night. Marquise Warwick, he had 16 off the bench, 6 for 11. But there's nothing. Missouri didn't do anything that really stood out against us. They weren't they just weren't knocking down shots, to be honest.
Yeah.
They were turning the ball over. A lot of balls actually bounced Arkansas's way as well, I got to say. But on the board, man, the Razorbacks were dominant. Controlling the paint. Knox was flying around on defense, and not just that. Knox played really efficient. He shot 5 for 7 in this ball game, man.
Yeah.
People been down in Knox because they say he might have been a bit overrated or something like that. But as Coach Cal has talked about, not just with Carter Knox, but with the Dew, with Big Z, with Johnny Davis, with DJ Wagner, who was one of the best players coming out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
He said this team is growing still. We're still growing as one. We're still learning how to play together. You have to think of all of the things that this team has had to deal with this season. Preseason injuries. John L. Davis was out in the preseason. Mm-hmm. Boogie gets hurt early on in the season. Inconsistent play. Win a big game. Lose a game that you shouldn't really lose. There's been so many ups and downs throughout this season that we don't truly know our Razorback team just yet. But this is a perfect time for us to establish our identity in the country. See, we can go on a run right now, as I spoke about a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Get right. If we get hot going into March, this is the top 25 team in the country for the past 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got
This is one of the best teams in the country.
You're right.
And when hope was gone,
He said when hope was gone.
we found a way.
Say that again. Wait, what?
When hope was gone, we found a way.
Oh, you mean?
Big Z started hooping. John L. Davis started hooping. That's all it took, man. That's all it took.
Oh man. But you know what I realized about this Arkansas team is that they are willing, they are ready to to stick together and go through all these, go through all the hard times and the good time together. You can see that they want to stick together and win something, like win a chip or something. They want to stick together. So which means
I think the problem is that they don't want to be known as the group that is this bad. I think they don't want to be last. You're led by. You got to think about it, gang. You're led by Coach Cal, arguably the greatest recruiter of all time, arguably a top 5 coach, top 3 coach of all time.
Yeah.
And the team is terrible. So what that tell you? Just think about it, okay? Is it Coach Cal or is it the players?
Yeah.
So as a player, we got to pick this up, man. We looking bad. We looking real sad right now.
Sad. You just like you having a coach like Phil Jackson coaching you, and then you're not giving result. Obviously, people are gonna start questioning, like, is he the coach or is he you? Now the coach has a stat. He has accolades already. I'm just using Phil Jackson as an example. So someone will say, "Oh, Phil Jackson is all right. Come on, he's coach. He has championship in his belt and everything." So probably gonna be you, the player. So I feel like that's the same thing going on with the Arkansas player right now. They have Coach Cal, and then they're like, you know what? This man is a great recruiter, and he's been in this business for a long time, and he has accolades and everything. So we are not gonna be the last, like you said. We have to do something.
Yeah. And coaching is important. It's a big part of having success on the court or in any sport, of course. And Coach Cal is definitely one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
That is going to lead us into our next topic of kind of some sad news. It broke a little bit after our shows. I don't like sad news. Yeah, me either. Especially this news, but we got to talk about it. Unfortunately, Greg Popovich will no longer be with the San Antonio Spurs for the rest of the season. They say that he is going to take some time off, and he is going to be retiring. He is going to retire at the age of 39. He is 39 years old.
Mm.
He is 39 years old. 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 to recover. He has had some health issues, and that is the main concern at the moment. That was announced about a day or two. That on Thursday is when Victor Wembanyama was announced. So that was announced on Friday or Saturday, I believe. So we haven't had a chance to talk about it in the studio yet. But Victor's out. I actually don't think we got to talk about that either.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
I guess we could take some time to just break down the Spurs real quick, man.
Yeah,
it's an unfortunate situation. It's not at all something that people were expecting. I think the last 5 days for the Spurs is just a series of unexpected, unfortunate events. Here on the show, me personally, from this crew, we wish nothing but the best. Prayers are up for Coach Popovich, the GOAT.
Yeah.
A true legend. And I say this as a Rockets fan, okay? So we do not rock with the Spurs at all. But we have a true respect for legends and for those who have had a positive impact, not just in the game of basketball, but in the world. And that is Greg Popovich. So I pray that he's healing up, getting better. We saw him have a stroke, I believe, last year. Last year or 2 years ago. And, yeah, right now, his NBA future is uncertain. They're saying that it's possible he retires after this. We don't know everything at this point. It's all speculation. But Greg Popovich is out. That comes a few days after the news that Victor Wembanyama is going to be out for the season as well, dealing with some blood clot issue in his shoulder. And he's on blood thinners now, so he can't play basketball on blood thinners.
Yeah.
That situation is a tough situation as well. Once again, praying for nothing but the best for Vic. Unfortunate situation for the Spurs, man. Basketball-wise, that's going to just about do it for their season, I think.
It's going to hurt them a lot.
But it can also be very positive. And I say that not talking about the health issues that this team is experiencing. I'm not talking about Victor and his health. That is beyond basketball. What Victor has and Coach Popovich, that is beyond the basketball. Okay?
Yeah.
But on the Spurs topic, this could be just like back in the day.
Oh.
Do you remember when they tanked?
You mean when they tanked like the season?
Yes.
Which season are you talking about? Because I don't want to trip right now.
Trying to remember exactly what year it was, but it was the year that they got that they had David Robinson and they tanked when he got hurt, and that's how they got Tim Duncan.
I know the season you're talking about.
I forgot the exact year, but the year Tim Duncan was drafted. That's how that happened. They had a good team, they had a good squad, a good group of players. David Robinson got hurt. Team was able to get a top pick, and they got Tim Duncan. Victor Wembanyama goes down. Cooper Flag is available.
That was in 1997.
1997.
Yeah.
Okay, Cooper Flag is available at Duke. He's going to be coming out of the draft.
So what are you trying to say?
The Spurs might have just finessed the greatest team of all time. They might have just pulled it off again.
So
now, I don't know who's going to be coaching that team. That's a big factor as well.
Yeah, that's a big factor. Yeah.
But we do know that they have a chance to get a top 3 pick. They might not. Hopefully, I do not want them to get the top pick at all. But they have a chance to get a top 3 pick. With that, they have De'Aaron Fox. As long as things with Victor Wembanyama go great, then they'll have Vic. They got Castle. They go get a top player, brother.
I mean, don't forget they still have a veteran, CP3.
Yeah, but how long is his deal? He's not guaranteed to be there next year, I don't think.
I mean, I'm not talking about his longevity in the team.
No, I'm talking about his contract.
I'm talking about, yeah.
I'm saying he might not be on the team next year on the Spurs. You have to look at his contract.
You think so?
I don't know his contract.
It seems.
What's his contract?
Yeah, I could check that out right now.
I don't think Chris Paul will be back on this team. They got a lot of young guys as well. So I just don't see Chris on the squad unless he has another 2 years on his deal. But I don't think that's the case. If I'm guessing, they would sign him to a 2-year deal or something like that when they got him.
It's a 1-year deal.
1-year deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't coming back. So
1-year deal is getting 11 mil.
Yep. He's not coming back, brother.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you got a point. He's not coming back.
But the Spurs team, they have the potential to be really good. Now, the thing with Victor Wembanyama is that we don't know what his health is going to look like in the future. With the current issue that he's having in his shoulder, we've kind of seen this before. I've seen that Brandon Ingram dealt with this some years ago. I don't know if you know that or not.
I think that was that when he was in was he in Lakers or when he go to because I knew he had issues with injuries when he was in Lakers, so I got to check that real quick.
Yeah. BI had it, I think it was in 2019 with the Lakers.
I knew when he wasn't, because he used to be a player I really like, I'm fond of until he left. Now he left the Lakers.
Yeah. But we saw Brandon Ingram dealt with this in the past, okay? And yeah, it was when he was back with them.
Yeah.
He's back. We don't really talk about it. We don't it's not something that is brought to the top of the conversation. BI, thank God, has recovered well. He's had a solid NBA career. We pretty much, unless you remember that time period, a lot of people will never know that Brandon Ingram dealt with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Vic could come back, and if it's pretty much the same thing, Vic could be very strong. Vic could come back. He could get back to doing what he does, which is dominating in the league, being the best defender in the league. He was probably going to be the defensive player of the year this season. But you know who else dealt with a similar issue? Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
And he retired. He was not able to play again. And that's the thing with this situation. It's a lot of people are speculating and saying this and that, and he could be back or he won't be back or whatever the case may be. Brother, you don't know. I don't know. Jordan, you don't know. Don't nobody know except for the doctors and Vic. And even the doctors don't know. There's no way to tell. All you can tell is time. You can pray for the best, man.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
And if things go well, when things go well, because I know Vic is a strong guy and he's gonna fight to get back on that court. You know what I mean?
Come on, he's too young. He has a long way to go. So definitely, he's gonna want to get back.
Yeah. So he's gonna want to get back out there, and if they're able to work that out, be healthy and do his thing. But there is also the possibility that it's a Chris Bosh situation.
But at what age did Chris had the injury? Though we have to consider that
the age doesn't matter. It's about the blood thinners because you can't bleed. You can't get a cut while you're on blood thinners. You'll bleed. You can bleed out and die.
But yeah, I get your point though. But the good thing about the medical world now, or the health, the technological world now that we are in now, is the fact that back in Chris time, the technology hasn't advanced up to the level at which we have now. So I feel like some injuries in the NBA or in the sport world, especially now, have the doctors or the medical world, they've improved. They've now they know how to tackle some medical issues or some injuries for the players. So I feel like since they've dealt with this before concerning Chris and also Ingram, I feel like there is something they'll probably be looking into and see how they can help players to get back on their feet.
You can look into it all you want.
You just don't have faith. Wait, you just don't have faith in the medical world now, or
it's not about the medical world. I'm telling you, like, we've seen this before. Like Serena Williams has had to deal with this. You can't get cut if you're on blood thinners.
I know what you mean when you say. I know what you mean, bro. I know. I'm just trying to come on, man. Let's give the Spurs fans let's give them what's it called?
I keep it real.
Oh God, you're doing it. You.
I said Vic is gonna fight to get back, but if he's gonna have to, there's gonna have to be medical changes. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I know that Serena stepped on some glass back in the day and cut her foot after she won the Wimbledon, and it got ugly.
Yeah.
We had real health concerns for Serena Williams. So that's in tennis, you know what I mean? And she just stepped on some glass or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was, but she cut herself open. She was on blood thinners, and it was a whole ordeal. We saw Chris Bosh, who was a part of the Big Three, the Miami Heat.
Did she come back?
Yes.
So,
but she doesn't.
She's not 100%. Yeah.
No. She's 100%, but she's not at risk of getting cut every time she plays.
Yeah, I get that.
Like I said, it happened to her stepping on something, being cut by an object, not playing her sport. In basketball, you're probably going to get cut.
You're gonna get cut.
It's a part of the game.
Because you keep playing every time.
Yeah, when you play basketball, you're going to take a few terrible showers where you hop in the shower and it's like, damn. The doggone cut. This doggone burn. The cut. The burn. I dove on the floor. I done sliced up my whole arm. Or I was driving. Somebody reached and swiped. Anything there. You can get a nosebleed. Anything. And blood thinners can make it dangerous for athletes to play basketball because they increase the risk of bleeding.
Or bleeding, yeah.
So you don't want an athlete to bleed out. I don't want to see this young man go through nothing crazy on a basketball court. Man, life is much bigger than sports.
Bro, it is. It is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to actually understand that life is much more bigger than sport. Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I pray for the best for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy situation. Extremely unfortunate. He was probably going to be the defensive player of the year. Win that with ease. Thank God Rudy wasn't going to win another one.
Are you hating on Rudy? Please don't hate on Rudy.
I have a question, though. I was thinking about this last night. Is Greg Popovich the GOAT, or is it Phil Jackson in the NBA? What do you think, Jordan? I want to hear your thoughts first. Phil Jackson or Greg Popovich? If I ask you who was the GOAT, what's your response to that? Because I have a pretty decent answer, I think, but I need to see what you think first.
But first, are we gonna go with the stat? I mean, like the records, or we just want to choose based on favoritism. Which one? Which one? Because I need to get the question right. Because if it's about being in favor, I'm definitely gonna go for Phil Jackson. I don't know about. I mean, I have to check the head-to-head records, which I still think probably still gonna be Phil Jackson. To be honest, I haven't really gone for check the head-to-head record, which I'm gonna do that right now. But okay. Just to answer your question, I'm going for Phil Jackson. How about you?
Okay. So here's what I'll say to this. When I was thinking about this,
here we go.
I said, "Yo, this is a really good topic because." I have two different answers to this question. If you say, here's 10 NBA players. If we go to the park, not obviously it's park, whatever. If we're at a pro-am game and I need a coach, I need the X's and the O's. I need a guy to lead us to victory. We might be the most talented team in the gym. We might not. I need the best basketball-minded coach, the guy who knows more basketball than anybody. I want Greg Popovich to lead this team. I want Greg Popovich to coach this team, okay? When it comes to the X's and O's, I feel like nobody is better than Greg. Growing up, playing basketball in the youth and all that, everybody says, swing the ball around, everybody touches the ball. We want that Greg Popovich offense. You learn to play how Greg teaches the game. I think Greg is the best teacher of the game of basketball. Great coach, especially with a group of underdogs. If you give me a team full of personalities, if you give me a star-studded team and you say, yo, this is not about the X's and O's, okay? We are better than everybody around here. This ain't got nothing to do with that. Our biggest problem with this team is going to be our camaraderie, our personality, guys who are used to being the one, having to take the back seat and be the two or the three. If we need to coach the locker room, if we're coaching camaraderie, I want Phil Jackson. If I'm coaching a bunch of stars, if we're playing in a big time market, we're coaching a bunch of stars, and I got a bunch of personalities that is very difficult to deal with, and the game is not going to come down to the X's and O's because I just got better players than the other squad. I want Phil Jackson. He knows how to deal with personalities. Mm-hmm. He's a proven winner. He's a champion. Mm-hmm. But that's my biggest thing with him is he knows how to deal. He knows how to bring the most out of his players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, man.
And Greg Popovich, he knows how to get the best basketball product on the floor. Does that make sense? Does what I'm saying make sense? If we're coaching personalities, we got a star-studded team. I want Phil Jackson. If we're trying to put if this 5 against this 5, average them out. It's an average 5 against another average 5, and Coach Greg Popovich is coaching one group. I'm taking the team that's being coached by Greg. But if it's a bunch of stars and it's stars on stars, stars against stars, excuse me, and you got a bunch of personalities, I think Phil Jackson is a much better coach with dealing with personalities.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm gonna say that's fact. What you said is fact. Okay. But I just feel like for me the difference between Phil Jackson and Greg is the fact that I think Phil Jackson is just that type of coach that no matter the player you give him, like I'm talking in terms of the star player you give him, he's just the type of coach that knows what he is gonna do with the player. Like you said star player, but I feel like that's not fair also on Phil Jackson's side. I mean, he has a lot of star player on his team. He had a lot of star player on his team, but I'm just saying, come on, listen, hear me out. Yes, he had Michael Jordan, he had Scottie, and then in the Lakers he had Kobe and he had Shaq. I mean, Popovich had team, because Popovich got to Spurs in 1996, right? He had team. He had I think he had Tony. He had Gino Billy. Come on, those are all star players too. So I feel like it's not fair. It's not fair when you just say, oh, Phil Jackson only knows how to handle like the star players of the franchise. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, he's good at it, to be honest, but that's not just it. Come on, he could actually handle, average players because he had average players in his team. Come on,
no, he didn't.
Check you know what? I'm gonna check the Chicago Bulls.
He had Michael Jordan on his team. He had Michael Jordan, the last dance.
I knew you were gonna send that.
Scottie
I knew you
Pippen,
say that.
Steve Kerr. He had the perfect team. He had Michael Jordan.
You know, and
then he goes to the Lakers. He has Kobe Bean Bryant.
Yes.
Kill O'Neal.
Come on, why are you talking
You're
like
comparing Tim Duncan to Shaq?
Team is a GOAT. Team is a GOAT too. He's a GOAT too. Come on.
You comparing Tony Parker to Kobe Bryant?
I'm talking about him right now. Let's leave.
Comparing Manu Ginobili?
Come on. Remember when there was at one point, Manu was being rated above Kobe at one point until Kobe proved them wrong. Remember that though. Don't forget that.
2 seconds.
That's how good Manu was.
For 2 seconds.
No, come on. They had to go through the is it the Olympics or the FIBA World Cup to prove that for Kobe to prove himself that he is better than Manu. Remember the game against
man, Kobe
Argentina,
proved
bro.
himself in the league, man.
I mean, yeah, Kobe always proved himself everywhere. But I'm just saying, come on.
We can't compare that. We can't. No. The general, maybe. We could talk about oh man, what's the big fella? Robinson. We could talk about Robinson. And we could talk about Tim. But we're not comparing none of them guys to Kobe and Michael Jordan, okay? We got the top 3 basketball players to ever play the game. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bean Bryant.
Yeah.
He coached 2 of them. We can't compare that to nobody else. Don't compare that to Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard. Those elite Hall of Fame guys. But we're talking about the best of the best, the Mount Rushmore. Ain't none of them guys touching the guys on the Mount Rushmore. Hell no. Phil Jackson got to coach the GOATs. He literally coached GOATs. Now, I get that Greg is a GOAT himself pretty much, but he coached top 3 players at their position.
Yeah.
Top 4, but not.
He had them for long. Don't forget that. He had them for long. Because he's been in the, I think he had 22 wins for them or something like that. I need to check that. But he's been in the
Greg has done it in one place.
In the franchise for the sports for a long time.
He's done it in one place. You know how hard
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So he's been there for a long time, and he of course he's expected to have the result he has.
No, but he's turning it around every single year. He's back. You know how long it took for him not to go to the playoffs? Like, he's been dominating every year. Do you understand how hard it is to take a team and dominate year after year after year? New contracts, new players, new coaches, new everything. And to do it year after year on some Mike Tomlin shit?
But do you agree that the toughest team, let's say the toughest set of players to deal with are actually the star players?
Yes.
So that's why I would always go for Phil Jackson. To deal with star players.
Whoa. What do you mean? The toughest players to deal with, the toughest way in a locker room? To coach what? I'm talking about, you said deal with, so I'm thinking personalities. When you have stars on your squad, personalities are really hard to deal with. But when you have stars on the floor, it's not that damn hard to coach it. Now, it might be harder to say, who do I want to get the ball? Who do I want? But no. But when your best scorer is Manu, Kawhi, Tim in the post. See, the Spurs, they operate off of 5-on-5 ball.
Yeah, he had Kawhi too, though.
They play 5-on-5 basketball. Do you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm trying to say? They move the ball around. It's a 5-on-5 game. Phil was able to run that triangle offense. Phil was able to run the doggone pick and roll because of his stars. He can run a 2-man. He can tell 3 people to get out the way. He can tell 3 people get out the way. He can tell his 3 guys, look, I want this triangle offense right here. You get on the wing right here. You work the block. He could say, I want a 2-man game right here. Popovich didn't really get the ability to play a true 2-man game like that. Not with GOATs.
I don't think Popovich didn't do that because he didn't get a chance. I think he didn't do that because that is not his style. You get my point? Like,
his style don't matter.
He has the quality of players to do that, to do the triangle offense if he wants to. But he chose not to because that's not his own style of play. Come on, he has Tim, he has Tony, he has Manu, at the point he has Kawhi. Come on, he can do that if he wants to. He just chose not to.
Do you understand who those guys were playing against?
What?
Do you understand who those guys were playing against?
Are we going to the part where the team they're playing against? Really?
Yes, because you're saying that those guys are, like, you're basically saying that those guys were so dominant, which they were very dominant in the league. Mm-hmm. But as far as championships, those guys are outmatched in their matchups.
Maybe if he had tried to triangle offense, also probably we wouldn't be having this conversation. He might probably be the GOAT, and we wouldn't have talked about him and Phil Jackson. But he didn't do it because it's not his style. And Phil Jackson felt, you know what, I'm gonna do it. That's my style, and he did it. And look at where we are now. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not taking anything away from.
So does Phil still do that without Kobe and MJ?
What do you mean?
Because think about it, Greg has brought all of these products in himself. Oh, Greg did this the old-fashioned way. Greg did this stuff through the draft, and I want to say through free agency, but really through the draft.
Okay.
Phil had it the easy way.
If he wasn't a good coach, they wouldn't sign him to coach the Bulls in the first place, right?
I didn't say he's not a good coach. We're talking about elite stat. We're talking about 1 and 2. So there's no disrespect on this. We're talking about 1 and 2. We're saying, is Greg better than Phil or is Phil better than Greg?
Okay.
We're talking about A and B. And then we can skip C because everybody else is E, F, G, all that.
You know what I see now? You know what I just realized is the fact that, yeah, I should expect this from you. You know why? Because you're a Coach Carl guy.
What that mean?
Yeah, what it means is that you are the type of player that love coaches who brings out, like, who bring a player from, not necessarily from the scrum, but, from a place of dirt, like, and then brought them to, like, a place of, oh, our player's good. You see, I know you're that type of you're that type of player. So I would say, yeah, that's why you're probably going for Greg. Yeah, I'm the type of player, like, so when I was still playing basketball, I would have a coach who knows what I'm, who knows my word, who knows my value, who knows what I'm good at, and is ready to use that, not just trying to, change me into what he wants.
Yeah.
See, so I think that's the difference. Yeah. So of course I'm definitely going for Phil Jackson. Yeah.
And so
thank you.
Yeah, I respect it. We can agree to disagree here.
Yeah, I mean we can.
That's the great part of talking sports.
Yeah.
So that's gonna lead us into a quick break. I gotta hit the bathroom real quick. Load up on some more coffee. But we will be right back. We just kicking it in the studio. And we back. It's time to talk some college basketball once again. We're getting set for March Madness, man. We're getting a little bit closer, day by day, brick by brick, piece by piece. We putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, but we're getting close to March. We're getting close to conference tournaments where all these seasons are starting to wrap up.
Yeah.
And things are looking really good, man. We got some NCAA predictions. We've been able to pull up a few brackets that are showing what we think the field of 68 is going to look like in March. The projected 1 seeds right now, you got Auburn, who's maintaining a strong performance throughout the season. Auburn's looked really good this year. They were able to pull out the victory the other day against my team.
I was thinking you ain't gonna say that. I'm like, oh, you're not gonna say it?
Yeah, no, I had to. Duke looks really good as well. They pulled off the big time victory against Illinois the other day. They won 110-67 at Madison Square Garden. Cooper Flagg, he's hooping, he's doing his thing. Cooper Flagg, he hasn't been falling lately. That's his thing, slipping last minute or two of the game. So as long as he doesn't slip, as we talked about with AJ Bramlett. Yeah, as long as he doesn't slip, we'll be good. Yeah, and Alabama is in there as well. They've constantly been playing at a high level this year. Yeah. They've been dominating in the SEC, looking pretty good. Then you have Florida.
Okay, yeah, Florida.
Strong performances.
Yeah.
They've looked solid this year. They've had some moments where we've kind of questioned if they're going to be able to actually make a late push when things get serious against some of these elite teams in the country, and even in the SEC tournament against a loaded conference. But there's some notable risers as well. But I wanted to start off. I guess we can kind of go through the 68 team bracket, see what we see. Yeah. This one, the bracket that we're going to be using to kind of gauge where these teams are on this February 24th. So we're still way too early. Still way too early.
Way too early, man. Way too early.
Yeah. So after viewing our potential 4 seeds, as we're still a tad bit early in the year, you know what I mean, compared to March, we have Auburn, we have Duke, we have Alabama, we have Florida. But there's so many teams in the country that are looking really good this year. So I want to just kind of walk through the field of 68. This bracket that we're going to be viewing is ESPN's bracket. So, there's a few other brackets out there, Kim Palm and other people that you can use as well. We're going to use ESPN to kind of gauge where we're at in the season. It's only February 24th. So we still got time. Some teams are still rising. Some teams are still moving down. There's been some new teams added to the bracket. Teams like Arkansas have moved up. VCU making some noise. Vanderbilt's moved down. Wake Forest has moved up. So there's been some craziness in this tournament scheduling so far. We'll see, as we talked about, Auburn, Bama having the 1 seeds. Some teams that some games that could be really interesting. As of right now, in the Midwest out there in Indy, they got Bama playing Bryant as of right now. We'll see who Bama ends up playing. Bama will pretty much have a secured dub. We know this.
Yeah.
Under that, though, they have Oregon and Baylor as of right now. Now, that would be an elite game. Oregon's a really good team. They've made some noise. It's their first year in the Big Ten. They're doing their thing so far. Baylor hasn't been great this year. I'm kind of surprised that they've been able to have the success in the back end of the season that they've had, because they're projected to be a 9 seed. They started off the year really bad, bro. Like they picked up the win against Arkansas and everybody was hyped, and then they took quite a few L's that just weren't good for their schedule. But after injuries and some unfortunate circumstances and some nice comeback wins against Kansas and all that, this team, they look like they're decent. You know, they got VJ Edgecombe, one of the best players in the country, one of the projected top lottery picks of the NBA draft. And Oregon looks good, man. So that's a matchup where we could see Bama face some trouble in the second round. I think things are going to be pretty interesting out there in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And then kind of moving down, you see Maryland and Drake are projected to play in Seattle.
St. John's.
Well, excuse me. That previous matchup is probably going to be in Lexington. I think the finals for that would be in Indianapolis. But you move down, we have my favorite team in the Big East, a team that I really do want to talk about today, St. John's. Rick Pitino doing his thing, leading his squad. They've had quite some success this year. Right now, they're first in the Big East. They're projected to be a 4 seed in the tournament. The Red Storm is 20. They're 24-4 this year. Picked up the dub against UConn. Picked up the dub against DePaul. Beat Eli's team, Creighton. I don't know why Eli was so high on this team. Said, yo, you're tripping, bro. Don't bet against Coach Pitino. This is proven. It's in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding, man. Don't bet against Coach Pitino.
You don't.
He knows how to get the best from his players. I was actually talking to my old AAU coach, and we were watching the little clip of him in the locker room the other day telling his players, like, yo, where were y'all raised at that y'all deal with adversity like this? And you could see it click with his players, like, this man just tested our gangster. We got to lock in. Rick Pitino knows how to bring the best out of his players. He knows how to, when things aren't looking great, he knows what buttons to press to lift his team up.
Yeah.
When things look great and his team is balling, they're hooping, whether it's Louisville, St. John's, whatever the situation is, Kentucky, when they're really high and everybody's praising the team and all that, he knows how to keep a team flat and keep them, say, hey, yo, you got to come back down to earth. Don't believe all the hype. What Polo G say? Don't believe the hype. Don't believe all that. So Rick Pitino, he's, in my opinion, one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time. He is a legendary Hall of Fame coach. And this is a year where St. John's can really make some noise. This Red Storm team, they don't have a tournament win in 25 years.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Pitino, though.
Is this the year? I really think this is the year that St. John's snaps the curse and they pull off their first win in March in 25 years, man. Shout out to Coach Pitino. You want to talk about I'm trying to think of a decent way to say this, but just taking something that wasn't a great situation, and turning it into something positive, man. Things didn't end great at Louisville. We thought maybe he's done, whatever. Back on his feet.
Yeah. Shout out to St. John's.
Yeah.
A big shout out to you guys.
Hey, Rick Pitino, man. He definitely one of the GOATs in my book.
I think we're gonna have probably not today, but we're gonna have a conversation about Coach Carl and Coach. Well, not today. Just so you know, we just letting y'all know that conversation is gonna come up. Just so you know, appreciate you.
Now, see, Speaking of Coach Cal, though, they got us scheduled as of right now. ESPN has us playing against Louisville in Cleveland. They have us as an 11 seed. It'll either be us or VCU, according to them. Probably have to do a little something to get into that game. Probably have to play one a little bit early. But, yeah, as of right now, they got us playing against Louisville as a 11 seed with, whoa! Okay, ESPN messy. ESPN is messy. They some messy individuals. Look at what hold on, man. So if this is really what happens, yeah. Okay, looking at this, I think the committee is going to find a way to make sure that this happens. So right now, ESPN has Louisville playing against Arkansas as an 11 seed. I love you, VCU. Congratulate, great year. They got y'all. It says Arkansas/VCU. You know, we winning that. We done that. Putting us in there. You feel me? So they got us playing against Louisville. Shout out to my guy Jacob over there on the coaching staff at Louisville. They've had a great year, man. Started off pretty solid. Carried their momentum throughout the year. I forgot who it was too, but it took a really weird L that it kind of threw me off. But the team bounced back after that. It was to Georgia Tech. Yeah, they lost to Georgia Tech. They were on a run. They were whooping everybody. They had lost to Kentucky and then went on a mean winning streak. Lost to Georgia Tech, came back to Boston College, and they've been winning ever since. They look like they are back to being the Louisville Cardinals that we know. They're getting back to the successful days that they had previously. But they have us set, and by us I mean Arkansas, set to play Louisville. And following that game, right under that, they have Kentucky as a 3 seed playing against number 14 Chattanooga. So if Kentucky wins that game, which they probably will, they'll be playing the winner of Arkansas and Louisville.
And so, what do you think? What do you think is gonna be? Is it gonna be
Part 2 BTA?
Oh boy,
we did it already. Coach Cal owns Kentucky. Big Z owns Kentucky. We own Kentucky.
Okay.
So when we see them in March, I want everybody to keep that same energy that they had a few weeks ago when Lamont Butler was out of the game and Kentucky was a little bit banged up and they didn't look like the same squad that they looked like all year and da-da-da-da. Arkansas, you only won because of this, and that, all the excuses, everything everybody was saying. Keep that same energy when we go to Cleveland. And I'm going to be sounding like LeBron. Cleveland! This is for you. After we done. We're going to come back in here. I might throw a party. It might be a party.
So I'm looking at the Wichita. So they got Memphis playing against Nebraska and Houston playing against Montana. Would you think it's gonna come out of that group to face probably Louisville or probably Kentucky or Arkansas? What do you think is gonna come out of that team?
I like U of H.
So
yeah, and they play a big game tonight against Texas Tech. Actually, I guess we could talk about that one real quick. But Texas Tech versus U of H. One of my group chats, I just got a text. It's going on right now. Big time argument. Somebody just said Tech winning tonight. No cap. And then Eli, who we had on the show, he just responded, cap. So we're gonna see how this one goes. Last time we saw the refs kind of dictate the start of the game. We thought that U of H was going to be able to run away with this basketball game. They threw Obi Toppin out, or I said Obi Toppin, excuse me. They threw JT Toppin out of the game for kicking the young man in the lower region. And his head coach, he was fired up after the call. He got ejected. It looked like U of H was going to be able to run away with the game, but that is not what happened. Tech was able to get hot. They were locking down U of H. They stopped them from knocking down their shots. They were controlling the glass. Won every aspect of the game pretty much, and Tech was able to come away with the victory in Houston. I believe this next game tonight is located. This game is located in Lubbock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's in Lubbock. 7 p.m.
7 p.m. in Lubbock.
Yeah.
Right now, U of H is favored -1.5.
I'm favoring U of H.
I actually like U of H in this game. Then they're playing really well lately. They've been riding hot. It's also really hard to beat a team twice, and this year that has been showcased quite a bit all around the country. You know what I mean? LJ Cryer, if you saw him last game, he looks like the dude from the city, man. He played down the street, and back in high school he was killing, man. He was unstoppable. Nobody could guard him. And he went to Baylor. He did his thing over there. Was able to get the national championship. Do all that. He came to U of H. This year has been a tad bit slow for him. He hasn't shot the ball all that well. He hasn't played terrible. LJ's a great defender. That's what he relies on. That's what makes him LJ Cryer, his defense and his decision making.
I think last game he had 28. Yeah.
Oh, he was in his Duffy last game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, he had 28 last game, and he had for 3 point, he had 5 to 7. So.
Oh, I was watching.
Not bad.
I was watching.
Not bad.
And it was that game was against Iowa State. They had a college game day there, big time atmosphere. Coach Kelvin Sampson was lit.
Yeah.
It was a big time, gotta have it, must win game as far as the Big 12 standings go. And they took care of business, man. Now they got to do it again against Texas Tech. Like I said, it is very hard to beat a team twice.
Okay, I'm gonna just try to bring it back. You said it's hard to beat a team twice, but you sound so sure that Arkansas is gonna be.
Because we own them.
I know you're gonna say that.
Because we own them.
Oh, really? Is that what it is now? Okay. You know what? I'ma just leave it at that, and then we'll come back to it later.
The only thing, okay, I gotta. All right, being real, man. I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, yeah. See, I got you there. I got you.
I really don't. I don't necessarily want to play Kentucky in the second round of the NCAA tournament. But as an Arkansas fan, beggars can't be choosers. We got to be happy to be in there.
Yeah, I mean,
we got to beat whoever we got to beat. We put ourselves in this situation. Now we got to handle business.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'd rather not face an SEC team that quick, but it is what it is. We got to do that. And if it is Kentucky, that's fine. They'll have Lamont Butler back, but we might have Boogie back. I doubt it, but we might. John L. Davis, if he's hooping like the John L. Davis that was hooping in Florida, he can compete with anybody. If Big Z's knocking down shots, Big Z shot 0 for 10 the other day against Auburn.
Man, he was.
But then he came in and basically won us the game last game against Missouri.
Against Missouri. Yeah, it was really crazy.
You see what I'm saying? So it just all depends on how we're shooting, how we're playing. If our stars are playing like stars, then damn it, Arkansas, we can do it. We can do it.
Big Z, field goal 6 to 8, free throw 7 to 7, 20 point. Man, yeah, that was all right. I mean, decent. It's kind of decent enough. So, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and then just kind of looking down real quick, Texas and Creighton will play as of right now in Newark, and that would be a great game. Creighton has a very good squad. That's Eli's squad that he's been rocking with out the Big East. Texas is a really good team as well out the SEC, but a very beatable team that they're not necessarily consistent. So I guess to kind of go, I guess we can go through every group of 4 and pick our winner.
Yeah.
And today we can.
I was thinking about this.
Yeah, we can basically. I guess we can kind of do our bracket real quick.
Yeah.
We can do a really quick bracket. Like I said, this wouldn't be our final thing or anything, but we can end the show with a nice and quick early February 24th ESPN bracket. Okay, we can see how we're looking. All right. I like it. So let me get my give me a piece of paper. You young boys say just got serious. Okay. So in the South region, and like I said, this is according to ESPN's predictions. We are still very early, but in the South region, Obviously, out in Lexington, you got Auburn versus either Omaha or Southeastern Missouri State. I'm liking Auburn to win that game. Of course.
Definitely.
Under them, we have Gonzaga in New Mexico. Wow.
8 and 9. Ooh, that's close.
I don't really know too much, but just making a quick prediction, I'm gonna have to rock with New Mexico at the 9 seed. They're too hot this year.
I'm definitely going for New Mexico. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say who I'm going for, but like they're really hot this year, and I don't know too much, but I know that I'm gonna ride with the hot hand here. Now going under them,
Providence.
You got Providence and McNeese. Wait.
No, Marquette.
Oh wait, no, excuse me. In Providence. My bad. So going under them, we'll have Marquette and McNeese as of right now. I'm going to take Marquette. They've been looking pretty good this year. McNeese is a really good squad, very well coached. I believe Coach Way is the coach of that team, and he's got his squad playing hard this year, man. I don't think that they were projected to do as good as they've done in the Southland. I know that we expected them to be a good team because of who their head coach is. They have a very good coaching staff and some good transfers and good players on their squad. But the team is 22-6. They're first in the Southland right now. They lost a lot of games early. They lost to South Dakota State to open the season. They lost to Alabama by 8 in the third game of the season. They lost to Liberty. They lost to Santa Clara. And they lost to Mississippi State. All of these were within the first 10 games of the season. Yeah, all of these were the first 10 games of the season. So since then, they only have one loss, and that was to Nichols. This is a really good team, man. If there is a team that is capable of upsetting somebody, I think that this would be one of the squads that can pull it off. Yep. But not in this ballgame. Not against Marquette. I'm gonna take Marquette. To win this game. Then you move down. You got Michigan State as a 4 seed versus 13 High Point.
We already know who we're picking. Yeah, I already know who I'm picking.
Yeah, that's automatic. I'm not. Hey,
I'm not dwelling too much on that.
You got January. You got February. You got Izzo, and then you continue on. Okay. Coach Izzo runs March. I'm not even playing around and questioning if High Point is going to be able to pull off something. That's not happening. Then you move down in Cleveland. We were talking about this game earlier. Louisville versus Arkansas or VCU. Shout out to my guy Jacob over there in Louisville, man. But I'm sorry, my guy's got to send you home packing. I'm taking Arkansas for the upset. As the 11th seed.
As you should, though. As you should.
That's real spill. I'm being real, though. We got killers.
Yeah, as you should.
And it's the SEC, man. This the SEC. I don't give a damn about what. I don't care about all that other stuff. This the SEC. You tell Louisville, come play with the big dogs, pause, and see if they can make some noise. See if they still have the success that they've had this year. They don't have the wins we have.
Yep.
They haven't played the teams we've played. Give me Arkansas.
All right. Here we go. Arkansas it is.
Under them, I'm going to take Kentucky, as we talked about earlier in the show, against Chattanooga. Then you got Memphis versus Nebraska. Memphis is looking pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Penny Hardaway, he's doing his thing, man. Great coach, great program. They started off a little bit shaky in their game, in their last game, but were able to turn things around, avoid the upset. I like Memphis to win this game. Unfortunately for Memphis, though, according to ESPN, they're going to have to run into Houston next. Houston is a 2 seed right now, and playing against number 15, Montana. I'm liking U of H to come out of this game victorious by quite a bit. So that wraps up our South region.
Yep.
So that wraps up the South region. So now we're going to go to our Midwest. And you see Alabama as a 1 seed versus 16 Bryant. Yeah. Obviously Alabama. It's easy.
Easy one.
Give me Bama.
The next one is going to be a tough one. For me,
now,
it is.
Yeah, Oregon, Baylor.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, man. Oregon as an 8 seed, Baylor as a 9 seed.
You know what? Okay, for me, I don't know, man. I want to go. I want to go for Baylor, but I don't know, bro. I want to go for Baylor, but it's just hard. It's really hard too.
Oh,
So what's your choice?
it's a really difficult game, man. Like, the thing about Oregon is they're a really good team. Their losses are just unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. We have to go from one. Either way, we have to pick one.
Baylor is in the same category.
Yeah, I know. That's why I told you. I said this is really really tough. So
The thing that makes me kind of say Baylor, though, I think, is their coaching and their championship DNA. This is a national championship winning team.
fact. A champion will always be a champion.
And they got some of the best players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to overcomplicate this.
Yeah, we should have.
Best players, Big 12,
Uh-huh.
great conference,
Uh-huh.
versus Oregon, good players,
Uh-huh.
Big 10, solid conference, championship pedigree, championship DNA from the Baylor coaching staff and the program. Oregon basketball, who typically chokes in the worst in the most just bizarre times. Give me Baylor. Give me Baylor. Give me Baylor. We move down. You see Maryland and Drake. They got Maryland as a 5 seed. You got Drake as a 12 seed.
Of course. I'm going for Maryland, though. I don't know which one you're going for. I'm going for Maryland. I don't know what you want to say. I'm still going to stick with Maryland, though. Yeah.
Now, before dude, Drake is really good this year, bro.
I know. But I'm still sticking with Maryland.
You're right. It would be a huge upset, but Drake is really good this year.
12 seed, though.
But it's because of conference. It's not because of.
I know. I'm just saying.
They're 25-3.
I'm just
they're
saying.
first in their conference.
So what would you go for? Because I feel like you're trying to complicate things right now. I don't want you to. Just pick one, bro. Yeah.
Maryland is third in the freaking Big Ten, man. Like,
yes, sir. Yes.
but at the same time,
I know Drake is good. Don't get it wrong. I know they've been Drake. They've been really doing awesome. But I'm sorry. I'm going for Maryland. Well,
yeah,
they could prove me wrong. I mean, it is for them to prove me wrong. It is for Drake to prove me wrong. But I'm still sticking with Maryland.
This is a big upset spot right here, man.
Yeah.
Like,
which is interesting. Don't you think it's interesting? To me, it is
not
interesting.
really, bro. Drake is really good this year. It's not even a secret.
You don't understand. Drake is good. Maryland has been better.
But Maryland is a big name.
That's what I'm saying.
Drake is a mid-major.
It's
That's
just
supposed to be.
so which makes it more fun to watch.
That's March Madness. That's the glory.
Yeah,
of March
that's why it's
Madness.
madness.
That's what makes it.
That's why they call it madness.
That's what makes March. That's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting on who you're gonna beat. Oh, you thought I was gonna forget?
All right.
Oh boy, he's thinking right now. Dang.
I'm gonna have to say that in this situation,
You do know whichever one you pick is what we're gonna put down there. Doesn't matter. I mean, what I think matters, but whichever one you decide to pick is what we're gonna put down, and that's what the show is gonna go with. So think.
honestly, man, I gotta root. I got to. I'm taking.
I'm glad I'm not the one on the hot seat right now.
in this theoretical game. It's crazy. I'm stressing over a game that might not even happen.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna take. You got to give me Maryland in this game.
Oh really? So you're telling me you took all those time to still pick Maryland?
I'll try to be
Oh
safe.
God, bro.
Their losses are, all of their losses are decent losses.
Drake or Maryland? Which one?
Maryland.
I'm telling you, man. Like all day. It's not for me. For me, it's not even a stuff to think about. I mean, Drake, they're good. Like they're doing good right now. But I'm still going with Maryland. Come on. Yeah, I am still going with Maryland. So are we picking Maryland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maryland it is. On to the next.
No. Give me Drake. Listen. Here's what made me change my mind.
Okay.
The guard play in March matters so much. The guard play in March matters so much. And if a guard gets going, if a guard is killing, if a guard is knocking down shots, if a guard can't miss, I'm taking the team with the top guard. And Bennett, how you say his last name, man? Steeritz? I think that's how you say his last name. But Bennett Steeritz, he's been balling this year. I've gotten to watch his game a little bit. Dog, this young man is a killer. If he is, he's averaging 19 points per game this season, shooting just under 50%. Brother, if he goes into March and shoots 50% against Maryland, who dominates in the paint, Maryland they have a dominating paint presence. That's what they do. You feel me? Their bigs are electric. Their bigs can play.
Wait, so I'm checking the Drake roster right now, and I don't know, man. Except for Bennett, cause you said Maryland uses the paints, right?
Yeah.
So Maryland's gonna be a big problem for them in the paint, because right now with what I'm seeing on the roster, unless I'm tripping,
they don't even have no center.
They don't have no center. So what you talking about? What you talking about, though?
That's what I'm saying, though. Drake can play this game extremely fast. If Drake controls the tempo of this game and it's a fast-paced game, that favors Drake. Well, Maryland's going to want to slow this game down. If Drake can get in control and play fast and get out in transition, maybe get the press working, play small ball.
So which still means, if I'm right, which still means the pressure, and the pressure is still on Drake, not Maryland.
No, the pressure's on Maryland. Drake's nobody expecting him from Drake. Cam is 6'8".
That's a twist. I didn't see that coming.
What do you mean? They're
underdogs.
What are you talking about? They're underdogs. Nobody.
You sound like you're expecting something from Drake right now.
I am, because I know ball.
So that's what it is now.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people were expecting a little something from Drake, but not like you don't necessarily expect for a 12 seed to come in and knock off a top tier team. Now we said Cam is 6'8". Derek Queen, who is their leading big man for Maryland, he's 6'10". We might be able to. Cam might be able to make that work just a little bit.
Might be able to.
So look, give me Drake, man. Give me Drake.
Okay.
Drake gonna beat Maryland in this game. This game that might not even happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, I chose Maryland, and KJ chose Drake. So just in case, when we come back again, we would know what to point a finger at. Oh, yeah.
That way.
I took myself out, bro.
So moving forward, we got St. John's versus Jacksonville State. St. John's is a 4 seed. Coach Patino, we just talked a lot about this situation. I really like this team. This is an elite team that I believe can make a run. I'm taking them to win their first March Madness game in 25 years.
Whoa.
Give me St. John's in this game.
I'm going for St. John's, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So we got Maryland and St. John.
So then you move down in Denver. Ole Miss is a 6 seed. UC San Diego is an 11 seed. I've been really high on Ole Miss all year. Give me Ole Miss. I got to watch them play a lot this year, being an SEC team. And that's a really good squad, man. Their big man can play. He can extend the floor. He can shoot. He can do it all, man. He's a really good player. I like this team to be all right for the rest of this season, man. The whole SEC is really good anyways. Then moving down, you have Arizona versus Utah Valley. Arizona has a 3 seed. Give me U of A, AJ Bramlett. I know that he'll enjoy that one. That's a good squad over there in Arizona, man.
Yeah.
They've been really consistent this year. A few tough L's, but the games that they've played have been pretty close. They can shoot. Caleb Love is a dominating point guard, championship background. He knows how to win. Mm-hmm. Give me Arizona in that game. You move on. You got Kansas versus Ohio State. Kansas has a 7 seed in Milwaukee, and Ohio State as a 10 seed. Kansas has really struggled this season, man. KJ, Hunter Dickinson, Bill Self, they haven't been able to play 40 minutes of basketball. We've seen them blow a lot of leads this season. They just struggle. They play one good half, one bad half, or one bad half, one good half. Yeah. We don't really know what to expect from this Kansas team, and I've actually been really high on this Ohio State team all year. They're one of my sleepers out of the Big Ten. This is a really good team that I never predicted them to win a Big Ten championship, but they can beat any team in the Big Ten on any given night. Ohio State, yeah. And I actually am going to take them to beat Kansas in this game and upset Kansas because I believe this is the year that Kansas goes home in the first round.
I really don't know much about those two, though. I don't know why. I really don't know much about them, so yeah. But Ohio seems pretty.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ohio State, man. They're a scrappy team, young scrappy team that knows how to hoop. Then you got Wisconsin as a 2 seed and Norfolk State as a 15 seed. Wisconsin is a easy dub. I'm going to take Wisconsin in this one.
Definitely. Okay, I think we're done for the Midwest, Indianapolis.
That'll wrap up the Midwest.
Yeah.
So then we move down to the East in Newark. As the 1 seed, we have Duke, and as a 16 seed, we have Southern or American.
We know what we're going for, right?
Yeah, that's an easy one. I mean, you take Duke.
It's an easy one for me.
Yeah, that's easy. We'll take Duke in this one.
The next one, though, I don't know.
Creighton versus Texas.
I'm gonna go for Texas.
I'm taking the SEC team. It's literally that easy, man.
Yeah, I was like, at first I saw it, I'm like, okay, yeah. I just go for the SEC team. Yeah.
I'm taking Trey Johnson. As long as he's healthy, as long as he's hooping, doing his thing, I'm taking Trey Johnson to win this ball game. You see Missouri as a 5 seed versus George Mason as a 12 seed. Missouri is one of the best teams in the country. Obviously, my squad knocked them off, so I'm feeling good. But SEC, once again, 5 seed. I'm going to take Missouri to win this ball game.
Definitely. Oh, the next one we know who we're taking there. My favorite.
Purdue versus Akron.
My favorite.
Yeah, that's easy,
Purdue.
Yeah, we see Purdue is listed as a 4 seed and Akron listed as a 13 seed. I don't really know too much about this Akron squad, but I do know that this Purdue team is.
I don't even want to know, man. I don't want to know right now. All I know is Purdue is winning. That's all I can tell you.
So then if you move down to Denver,
we
see the 6 seed UCLA facing off against Vanderbilt or Wake Forest as an 11 seed. I really like this UCLA squad. They've picked it up ever since Coach publicly got on them. Ever since Coach said, I'm dealing with a bunch of guys that I can't really coach. They are too entitled and they think too highly of themselves. This team has been balling, man. They have a lot of scorers. I got to watch this team in person, and this team has a lot of guys that can score the basketball. Their big fellas are really good. They got length in the paint. They can get rebounds. They're well coached. He has over 500 wins in his career. He's not even 60 years old. Vanderbilt's a really good team. Wake Forest is decent. I like Vandy a lot, though. But UCLA, I like them to win this game, which puts us into our next game, which is Texas Tech versus Towson. Texas Tech is a 3 seed. Towson is a 14 seed. That's easy. Texas Tech, the guys out there in Lubbock, they've been hooping this year. They've been balling. So we would see UCLA and Texas Tech. Then below them, you have 7 seed St. Mary's against 10th seed West Virginia. St. Mary's has been a really good team this year, but West Virginia has been one of my sleeper squads all season. I don't know a whole lot about this St. Mary's team. I've seen them play a few times, but I'm really high on West Virginia, and there's one thing about playing elite, high-level basketball. I'm going to take West Virginia. Their experience is going to play a factor in this game, man. They've played some really big games this year. Came out victorious in some. Came out defeat in the others. But they have experience. They're well coached, a lot of talent. I'm going to take West Virginia in this game.
Okay.
And then below them, we see Tennessee and Central Connecticut. Central Connecticut is a 15 seed. Tennessee is a 2 seed. One of the best teams in the country. Not a lot needs to be said about this. We're going to go ahead and put down Tennessee. Moving on to the West region, located in San Francisco. You see Florida versus Quinnipiac.
We know.
Yeah, that's automatic dub for Florida as a 1 seed.
Florida.
UConn versus Utah State. I'm going to take Dan Hurley, even though that team has been tweaking out this season. They're pretty much on my ban list. Dan Hurley and them have been terrible. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what is going on. But they're back-to-back champs. I think, with winning the championships, there comes high expectations, and they've been unable to beat those expectations this year. But they do have championship DNA, as we discussed with Baylor. They do have an elite head coach that knows how to win games. I'm going to take them to win this first game and move on in the tournament. Right. You move down and see Mississippi State playing against Yale. I'm really high on this Mississippi State team. They'd come in as a 5 seed according to ESPN. Yale would be a 12 seed. Josh Hubbard, man, he's been hooping all year. Now, the one thing that I say is when he plays against another elite guard or an elite coaching staff that can really eliminate his game, it can be hard for Mississippi State to win, but I don't see Yale being able to eliminate his game. I don't think Yale has anybody on their squad that can just shut down Mr. Hubbard. He's a dog, man. He can score. He can shoot from anywhere. He can take anybody off the dribble. He is a killer.
Yeah.
You move down, you see 4 seed Michigan playing against 13 seed Lipscomb. I'm going to take Michigan, man. They've been a really good squad this year. They dominate in the paint. I think that's a really easy dub for Michigan. You move down out there in Wichita, you see 6 seed Clemson facing off against number 11 seed BYU, who has fallen down in the rankings. Clemson has had a pretty solid year. But BYU is actually –
it's a big team, though.
Yeah, they look pretty decent, especially here recently. They just beat Arizona by 1 the other day. I'm actually going to take BYU in this game despite them being the underdogs. I just expect a lot from BYU at the end of this season. So it's kind of an easy pick for me. Them as an 11 seed is kind of scary. I don't think that's somebody that you want to face, even though they're an 11 seed in this situation. Yeah. You move down, you see Texas A&M playing against South Alabama. Texas A&M is listed as a 3 seed. South Alabama is listed as a 14 seed. Texas A&M, they look good this year, man. Wade Taylor, he's starting to hoop towards the end of the season. We saw him kind of struggle the other day against Tennessee. Chaz Lanier had 30 points against them. But, against a team that doesn't really have an elite guard in South Alabama, yeah, they're going to play hard. They're automatic qualifiers, I believe. But, they can't hang with Wade Taylor. And that Aggie team is so well coached, and they play with so much energy. I don't see a team like South Alabama being able to beat them. So we're going to stick with the guys out there in College Station, and we're going to take Texas A&M University to win that game. You move down, you see Illinois versus San Diego State. Illinois is listed as a 7 seed. San Diego State is listed as a 10 seed right now, according to ESPN. I'm going to take Illinois in this game, man. We've seen them play really well this year. The first time I got to watch this team play was on Thanksgiving against my squad and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Illinois has handled business, man. They've been doing good all year, and I'm going to take them to win this game. I don't see San Diego State being able to upset them. That's a really good squad out there in San Diego State. Some solid guards, but just not enough firepower to hang with this Illinois team. They're really dominant in the paint as well. And that's something that I love to rely on, man. When you got good guards and you got good bigs, you can play good basketball, especially in March. They'll play together. I'm high on this Illinois team this year. It's a tough Big Ten conference as well. And they fought to get out of that Big Ten conference and make it to March. Then you got Iowa State as a 2 seed playing against Cleveland State. That's an easy dub, nothing to talk about. Big 12 team. We've seen Iowa State dealing with some injuries lately. They're going to have to clean that up, get guys healthy. We saw them play against U of H, and they were down quite a few players, some due to sickness and some with injury. So Iowa State's going to have to get that issue fixed and figure that out. That's going to allow for them to have a really good run in March. So that's going to finish off our initial first-round predictions. So now we have our field of 32. We can start it off in the South region. Right now we have Auburn listed against New Mexico. We're going to run through this one really quick. I like Auburn in this game. That's an easy dub. I don't think New Mexico can hang with Auburn. Then we'll see Michigan State run with Marquette. Once again, I'm taking Coach Izzo. Give me Coach Izzo and his squad to win this game. I'm not betting against him against a team like Marquette, especially not in March. Arkansas versus Kentucky. We've already talked about this. Once again, I said this earlier, Coach Cal owns Kentucky. Coach Pope, you can't rock with us. Now you know I got a lot of love for that Kentucky squad, man. Coach
I like your faith though. I like your hope. I like your confidence. You know, it's pretty. But just so you know, I'm not a hater. I'm not trying to hate on Arkansas or whatever. But I'm just trying to remind you, Eli had the same confidence. Remember the last time, and then you remember what happened, right? So, but I feel like I'm not gonna write off Arkansas though. So. I'm gonna give you support unit.
Yeah. We're gonna be good. I'm telling you, we can do it. We can do it again.
No, I know you can. I know Arkansas can do it. I know you guys can do it.
We did it once. We just got to do it again, man. And then you move down. We see Memphis versus U of H. I'm not betting against the homies, the guys from the crib. Coach Kelvin Sampson got to take care of business. It's one of the best teams in the country.
Okay.
Give me U of H in that game. Sorry, Coach Hardaway. You know you're one of my favorite coaches, one of my favorite players of all time. But, yeah, got to send you home packing. The next game is pretty easy, man. Bama versus Baylor. Bama is that's a dub. Alabama is one of the best teams in the country. Mm-hmm. When we had AJ on the show, we discussed that Alabama or Auburn are probably our favorites to win the tournament this year. Mm-hmm. That's a dominating team in the SEC. If you move down, you see Drake versus St. John's. I'm not betting against Coach Rick Pitino. That's just an easy dub for St. John. Mm-hmm. They have a nice road, according to ESPN right now, to the Final Four, to the Elite Eight. You know what I mean? They don't really have to play anybody until they play Bama. Drake is a really good team, but, you know, Coach Pitino, St. John's, I'm not really concerned with Drake. Ole Miss versus U of A. Give me Arizona in this game. They have elite guard play. I think that they are just the flat-out better team. We've kind of seen Ole Miss struggle against elite teams in the SEC. I think Arizona is the type of team that can hang with some of these squads in the SEC. So give me Arizona in that game. And then we move down to Ohio State versus Wisconsin. Yeah. Wisconsin has been one of the best teams in the Big Ten this year. I'm going to take Wisco. They have they got veterans. They know how to win. They're really hot right now at this point in the season, and I'm always going to ride with the hot hand in this situation. Ohio State's a very scrappy team, but I don't think they can really hang with Wisconsin. So that wraps up the Midwest side. Then if we move down, we go to the East. I'm going to take Duke to beat Texas. I know that Texas is an SEC squad,
straight up.
Yeah, straight up. You know, they're an SEC squad, but Trey Johnson I think Duke is going to be able to scheme how to stop Trey Johnson. The proof is in the pudding. We've seen it this year. We've seen quite a few teams in the SEC kind of slow down Trey, or maybe just allow Trey to have a big game but shut down everybody else and beat this Texas squad. So I'm going to take Duke to win this ball game. You see Missouri versus Purdue. Man. Now this one's kind of tough. Man. Missouri an SEC squad, Purdue a Big Ten team. Missouri looking really good this year. Purdue has kind of been shaky as we get closer and closer to the end of the season. So for those reasons, I'm going to take Missouri just because they're, once again, riding the hot hand. They're balling. They're looking pretty solid right now. Purdue they're declining at the wrong time. And they're going to have to fight so hard to wrap up this Big Ten season. I'm going to take the SEC team. I'm going to take them, the SEC team. I have to.
So you're going with Missouri?
Yeah, I'm going to take Missouri in this game.
Okay.
And then you move down, we see UCLA versus Texas Tech. I think that's a dub for Texas Tech. JT Toppin, Williams, that squad, Federico. Too much for UCLA to handle, especially with their camaraderie issues. I think at this point in the season, that is going to hurt them. That's going to get them they're going to be able to, UCLA is going to be able to win a game, but, you know, just all the issues internally that they have, I think that's going to come back to bite them in this moment. Yeah. So give me Texas Tech to win this ball game. Mm-hmm. You move down, we see West Virginia versus Tennessee. I'm going to take Tennessee.
Tennessee's going out.
That's an easy. Yeah, there's not much to talk about there. Mm-hmm. And then we move on to the West. We see Florida versus UConn.
We know.
That's easy. Florida, Dan Hurley, your run has been great. National champions, back to back? You did it. Yeah, the three-peat is not happening. We saw it in the NFL. Three-peat is not happening.
Michael Jordan is still the great. Twice, bro. Twice. What you talking about? The GOAT? the MJ, the Hennes.
He did. He three-peated.
Come on, man. 2 times, man. Not just once. 2 times. You see why he's the GOAT. You see, you know what? Let's leave the conversation for another time. Because me and you, look at me. Me and you, we're still going to have a conversation about the MJ and LeBron. But not now. You know that. That's coming. Watch out.
Well, the three-peat is not happening for this UConn team. It's unfortunate, but
it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening this year, man. This is not the squad for that. Florida's going to win that ball game. Then we'll see Mississippi State versus Michigan. I believe Michigan can win this ball game. That's a game where you can kind of shut down Josh Hubbard, and if he's not going crazy in this ball game, Michigan can outcoach Mississippi State.
Yeah.
So give me Michigan. It's going to be an SEC team falling right there. BYU versus Texas A&M. That's an easy dub for Texas A&M. They have the elite guard play. The team is better. They got their bigs are flying around, playing really well right now. I'm going to take a very well-coached Aggie squad to win that ball game. Okay. Then you see Illinois versus Iowa State. Give me this Iowa State team, man. I think they'll be happy by this time in I said happy. I think they'll be healthy.
I was like, what's going on?
I think they'll be healthy by this time in March.
Yeah, sure.
And that'll allow them to really be flowing and playing much better than we're seeing them play at this moment in the year right now.
Yep.
That takes us to our Sweet 16. So we'll go from top to bottom, man. We'll see Auburn versus Michigan State. It's an easy dub. That's an easy win for Auburn. I think the only thing that we have to rely on here for Michigan State is Tom Izzo. Without Izzo, I'm just saying you can throw this one away. It's an easy dub for Auburn. Okay. But I'm going to take Auburn in this game. We move down. We see Arkansas versus U of H.
You know, before you say anything, I actually like the way this bracket is actually going. You know why? Because every time Arkansas seems to get out of one trouble, they keep getting into the bigger one. And I want to see how sentimental you're going to be about this. So I'm not picking. You are picking. U of H or Arkansas. Let me see what you're going to say. So we'll see. We'll see. Because for me, I know who I'm going with. So let's see what you're going to do.
All right. Here's what I'll say about this game.
Here we go.
Arkansas.
Oh, God. Okay.
Arkansas is capable.
Oh, God.
Of beating U of A.
Please, we're not going for capable or anybody's capable of beating anybody. That's the thing. That's the beauty of sport. If you play your card right, it's possible you'll beat the best team in the world. You understand what I'm saying? It's sport. So who are you going for, KJ? Stop playing. Stop being diplomatic about it. When it comes to Arkansas,
man, these are my two squads.
Exactly. You're being
emotional.
You're being. You know what's crazy? U of H is my team. You know that.
All right, here's what I'll say. U of H is known to choke in these big-time moments in March. If there is a game for them to lose, it would be this one or Memphis, according to this bracket. Because Arkansas is so capable of scoring at any time, and they're coached by Coach Cal, and they have good guards. They're capable of getting hot and winning this game. I don't think this is the year that U of H blows a game that they're not supposed to. I think this is a year that Coach Kelvin Sampson, this team is really battle-tested compared to some teams in the past. They haven't been as battle-tested. They're just so dominant that when they got in these sticky situations in March, it's kind of like they didn't know how to handle them. This team has been tested. This team has been through hell and back.
Yep.
As much as it pains me, I'm going to just get through this one quick. U of H is going to – it doesn't pay me, because, hey, U of H is winning, so we're good. It's good and bad, both sides. Somebody got to win, somebody got to lose in this situation. U of H is going to win this game.
Thank you,
Coach
sir.
Cal will be back the next year, and we'll be able to play against U of H in a different scenario or something. I don't know, man.
Thank you. Thank you for the honesty.
U of H is going to – they're better.
Yeah, thank you for not being so sentimental. I thought you were gonna be for a second.
No,
for a
no,
second,
no,
I thought
no,
you were gonna go.
no.
You were gonna be like, nah, Arkansas is gonna win.
No.
Yeah, appreciate you though. You're welcome.
So now we move over to the Midwest. Bama versus St. John's. We'll get back to making decently quick picks. Midwest, Bama versus St. John's. Give me Alabama. The run stops for St. John's. You know,
Yeah.
that's just not having enough talent on the roster. Bama, SEC battle squad. You know, a tough team out of the SEC. I don't see them losing to a team like St. John's in this game. You see Arizona playing Ole Miss. Excuse me. Then you see Arizona playing against Wisconsin. Give me that Arizona squad. They're, once again, championship DNA. Caleb Love, a great coaching staff. Arizona is a elite program, great historical program. I think they're going to be able to pull off a victory in this one and move themselves into a nice spot into the Elite Eight.
All right.
That takes us from the top half, and that moves us down to the West and the East. We're going to start off in the West. Florida versus Michigan. Whew. I'm going to take Florida. SEC school. It's not too much to debate here. Florida is a really high-powered offense. They can score at will. I don't know if Michigan will be able to stop them from scoring the basketball, to be honest.
Yep.
Texas A&M versus Iowa State. Man, if Iowa State is fully healthy and they're rolling, they're a very tough team to beat. Texas A&M is very – everything depends on Wade Taylor, you know, their point guard.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that in this situation, I'm going to finally say – I'm going to give Wade his respect.
Yeah, because I was
He's
going to be
been
like,
hooping.
it's a God. You just said it earlier on, like, if the God is, is on 100%, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take Texas A&M to win this ball game just because I think Wade Taylor's going to be balling in March this year. You know, this is a big-time opportunity for him, and I don't think the moment is too big. You know, he's going to have to take advantage of this moment. So give me Texas A&M in this situation. Duke versus Missouri. I'm gonna bet on Duke. Cooper Flag. Enough said. We move on to Texas Tech and Tennessee. Woo!
Tennessee, man.
You take Tennessee?
I want to go for Tennessee, but I can't leave Texas Tech. That's the thing.
Thing is, Tennessee is the best team in the country when they're playing their best. When they're playing solid, when they're playing good basketball, Tennessee is the best team in the country.
That's why.
When they're not knocking down shots, they're one of the. They look like a mid-major school.
Mid-majors. Okay. Yeah. Because when they're playing at their best, they're the best.
Well, see, a lot of teams have other things they can rely on. See, other teams might not be knocking down shots, but they can rely on their defense, or they can rely on just having a great motion offense and moving the ball. This, that, and the third. This Tennessee team, man, when they're not knocking down shots, they look terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet on Tennessee in this game just because they got Lanier, they got
Who is that
Z,
guy?
the point guard. The point guard,
Hold on. I'll find it.
Ezekiel.
I know.
Ezekiel something.
His name is.
I call him Z.
His name is. Wait.
He's an older guy. He's a vet. Point guard is really good. Can shoot from anywhere. Sorry with a Z. I just call him Z. Ezekiel something. I can't remember the other. But I'm gonna get Tennessee in this game. I know that's tough. I like this Texas Tech squad, but that'll be the end of it for them.
Zakai Ziegler.
Zakai Ziegler. Yeah, he's a dog.
He's pretty good. Yeah, because his name is.
Yeah. So now we move on to our Elite Eight. We would have Auburn playing against U of H. SEC. But I don't know. Nah, but we've talked about it all year. I have to go with my gut. I think I want to pick U of H in this situation. It's the hometown team. I want to pick this squad.
I'm picking U of H.
But they haven't been consistent all year when it gets in this situation.
I'm still picking U of H. At this point, just to be clear, I'm being sentimental. H-Town. So, I said my own piece. I accept I'm being sentimental. Yeah, I'm picking U of H.
Yeah, I want U of H to win this game, but Auburn is a really high-powered offense. Auburn is a very old team as well.
Yep.
They're all like 28, like 30 years old, 50 years old, running around on the floor playing against a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They have one of the best players in the country on a serious note, Johnny Broome. I have to go with my gut, which tells me to take Auburn in this game.
All right.
As much as I don't want to, I have to.
Okay.
We've said it all year. This U of H team just doesn't really look consistent. And it pains me to say that. I'm not going to lie.
But I'm
And then move over to the other side, the Midwest side, the Midwest and East. You see Bama versus Arizona. I'm going to take Alabama in this game.
definitely.
Give me the SEC team, man. Battle tested, better team. Arizona, once again, just like U of H, same situation. They're literally evenly matched team.
Yeah.
And both of them haven't been consistent.
Yeah. And then the West.
So, yeah, our West, we see Florida versus Texas A&M. That's easy for me. Florida. Yeah, it looks like Florida kind of has a easy ride, according to this ESPN bracket.
They did.
And then you see Duke versus Tennessee. I'm taking Duke.
Yeah.
This is a star-on-star matchup. This is Chaz versus Cooper Flag.
It's gonna be a good one, though. It's really gonna be a good one.
This is young versus old, man. You know, Tennessee's a really experienced team.
Yeah.
Duke is a really young team. I'm gonna take in this situation. I typically rock with the experience, the older veterans in the March Madness games, just because of that experience. But in this situation, I'm gonna take Cooper Flag in the next gen. I'm gonna take the next face of the NBA.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna take him to win this ball game, which brings us to our Final Four. Da da da.
So Auburn against
Alabama.
No.
Yeah. Oh no. You're right.
Auburn against Florida.
Yep.
Who you gonna pick, bro? I know who I'm going for.
Who you taking?
I'm definitely going for Florida. I'm going for Florida all day.
Now you can go for it all you want.
I know.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Auburn gonna go to the doggone championship game. All that experience, all them old folks on that team. I'm gonna take Auburn to win this ball game.
All right.
I'm gonna take Auburn to win this ball game, man. They have too much experience, and they've proven to be one of the best teams in the country. They've had a lot of negative around the team. They got into a fight on the plane, had to land the plane immediately, and boys was right back hooping like the next day, man. This team is battle tested. They're experienced. It's a team full of YNs, to be honest, and they're still hooping. You know what I mean? They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be all right. I'm going to be real with you. I think Auburn's going to beat Florida. They're just a better team than Florida. Florida is just not – they don't have enough power on that squad.
Okay.
And then you move on to the other side. You see Alabama versus Duke. Cooper Flag, man, I love you, dog.
What does that mean?
The run is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're running into an SEC squad.
Oh, yeah.
And not just any SEC squad, but a hungry Alabama team, man. They've been waiting for this moment for years. Since back with Colin Sexton. And they thought they was going to make something happen. They had old boy. Old boy didn't be what everything we thought he was going to be. But Colin did. Colin Hoop did his thing, made it, moved on. But since then, this team has been balling. They're on the map.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have an all-SEC finish. Right now, according to our bracket, we have 3 out of the 4 teams in the Final Four are SEC squads. And in our matchup, in my matchup, I have actually in both matchups, it's an all-SEC finish. You took Florida, I took Auburn. So I have an Auburn versus Alabama finish.
So who do you think is gonna win? Alabama or Auburn?
We said it's hard to beat a team twice.
Okay. We're going to that route again, right?
We said it's hard to beat a team twice.
Okay.
That's what makes me think Auburn's going to beat Florida, is because Florida did get the dub against Auburn.
So Auburn, Alabama. So you think You think it's gonna win?
Auburn beat Alabama last time.
So Alabama's gonna beat Auburn this time. You think this is
No.
this is the final?
No,
you
I
know?
don't think so.
This is the final. You know. This
I don't
is
think so.
this is
I think Auburn's
do it
gonna be
again.
able to win this game.
Yeah, they're gonna do it again. If it's Auburn, if it comes down to Auburn or Alabama, Auburn's gonna win.
Yeah, I think Auburn's gonna win this game. They were able to go on the road and defeat Alabama by 9, and the score doesn't reflect the game. They dominated that game.
Yeah.
I watched that whole game.
Yeah.
Auburn dominated that whole game. So although I'm gonna rely on the whole not beating a team twice to get Auburn into the championship, because I believe they're gonna beat Florida. I believe they're the better team. I don't think Bama's going to be able to beat Auburn. Auburn is so high powered, and they're old. They're so experienced. But Bruin, oh man.
Who are you picking?
Auburn's going to win the national championship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Auburn's going to win the national championship. Hey, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know who y'all think is going to win the national championship. Let me know what you think of this bracket. This is according to ESPN on February 24th. We'll update this bracket a little bit later on in the week and going forward into March as we gear up for what's to come. But this has been an exciting day. This was a really cool turn of events. We ended up having our own little bracket and seeing who we believe is going to win at the end. Thank you for joining us in the studio today. We're going to have a big week, man. We're getting ready for March Madness, and the NBA is coming to a close of the regular season. There's so much going on, Jordan. It's been a great day. Been a really cool experience talking about some college ball. Thank you for joining us in the studio. It's been a nice time kicking it with y'all. I'll see you next time. KJ Ford signing out.
All right.